Hey there, Wheel to Wheel fans. I'm Nate Robinson and I drive the number 54 car in the 500 class. Here's a look into me and my race team headquarters.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I was actually moved to Washington, a little town called Puyallup, Washington, right outside Seattle. And that was when I was about 11, 12 years old, and then lived there until I graduated high school. I've been very active in surfing, motocross, and automobile racing for many years. I went to college originally in the high desert is what brought me here in 1994, and then left to continue my college degree. Lived in Ventura for quite some time. I've had 4 businesses now. This is my 4th business, and I've managed 2 major motorcycle dealerships.
Start from the beginning. How did you start racing?
My father has always raced cars and motorcycles, and in 1979 he actually got me my first motorcycle, an Italjet 50, and we raced at Indian Dunes. That's how I originally got started in racing.
Any reason that you run the number 54?
My father, who passed away about 11 years ago, ran number 54 for a long time.
How'd you get involved here at Wheel to Wheel?
John Aiden actually came by the store one day and needed a chain. He was putting together those carts for the kart class and was doing some testing with chains, and we started talking about it. And originally it was for my 5-year-old son is why I got the intermediate sprint car, and he didn't like it too much, and I felt that he was a little bit too young, so I decided to get back into the circle track racing myself.
How long have you been racing at Wheel to Wheel, and can you tell us about the struggles you had early on in your tenure?
I started out there right around June of 2015, and the biggest hurdle I think that I've had out there is setting up a race car that doesn't have suspension. Coming from sprint cars and dwarf cars and racing razors, everything is all about setting it up around your suspension. These cars, because there is no suspension, it makes things a little bit more difficult to get that chassis where it needs to be for the forward bite, from what I've found so far.
What has been your favorite moment at Wheel to Wheel so far?
Probably the first win I had out there in a heat race was probably my favorite moment of all time at Wheel to Wheel so far.
Other than racing, why do you like Wheel to Wheel?
I like the family atmosphere out there. I like how they have the kids highly involved. That's a big thing, I think. Bringing the kids up through racing and understanding the camaraderie and the competition and how to be a fair sportsman. So I think that has a big majority of how I feel about that.
As you mentioned, you own your own business. Can you explain that to the fans?
Yeah, I own First Place Motorsports here in Apple Valley, California. We are a full-service sales, service, and parts motorcycle ATV, UTV shop. So as you can see, we have our accessories over here with some t-shirts, got some 5-point harnesses for UTV guys. We got some ramps over there for people that need to load their motorcycles and ATVs. Got some bikes on consignment here and bikes that I own that I'm selling, just some personal bikes. You can cater to the protection needs of the riders as far as neck braces, kidney belts, elbow braces, knee braces, foot protection, everything that you can imagine on that side. We cover the helmet spectrum with several different brands. We do carry the motocross boots. We carry on and off-road helmets and accessories, of course. And then we have all your grips and gloves over here. Down here in the cases, as you can see, we do try and keep communication equipment in stock. This is our little street bike section where we're going to have some blinkers and mirrors, some frame slides, some license plate holders, some sport bike jackets with protection. These are really good to have. Over here we have more street bike accessories, from the boots to the pants. We got a couple of vests over there. Over on this side here, you're going to have your riding bags. You're going to have some accessory bags, some camel bags, motorcycle stands, flags for the duners. This is actually one of my bikes right here. I used to race motorcycles very competitively up until about 3 to 4 years ago. And then over here we have our tire department where we have our on-road tires, our off-road tires. We have our UTV tires, and we even have some used tires to offer the customers that might not be able to afford something on the brand new side. We have wheel sets here for, as you can see, dirt bikes, quads, UTVs. Those are going to be for your Razors, Rhinos, Can-Ams, all that stuff there. Then we just have our levers and some basic accessories here. Oil spread all the way across the back of the shop here. And then over on this side, we have a whole lot of plastics, used and new, and a lot of used parts. We try and keep a good amount of used parts in stock. And then of course we do have our air filter section there. Then back here, we have our service department. Got our tire machine, got our parts room over there. Over here is where we're going to keep our spark plugs, chains, extra tubes, batteries, belts, throttle tubes, gaskets.
If you had to say who the most colorful person out of the track is, who would you say?
I think John Aiden, I elect him as the most colorful person. He's a fun guy to be around and does a good job out there.
Who's your favorite driver to compete with?
Honestly, I like to compete with all those guys. I mean, there's a handful of guys that it's really fun to dice it out with. You got John Alonso, John Aiden, Daniel Bennett, Buck Blair. That core group of guys are just a lot of fun to battle with week to week. And they're clean racers that keep everything in the lines.
What is your favorite part of being a member of the Wheel to Wheel family?
I'd have to say the camaraderie and just the family environment is just a really fantastic thing they have going on out there. Coming from bigger spectrums of racing, you know, the sprint cars, the dwarfs, the big tracks with 5,000 fans, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, it's kind of nice out there. Everybody knows everybody. It's not quite so serious, I guess you could say, which is a good and bad thing, but that's what I really like about it out there.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans and anybody you'd like to thank?
I really would like to thank my family for their support out there, and John and Crystal and all the officials for everything that they do out there. Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it. There's me and Ricky Carmichael.
Just